You're listening and watching an awesome podcast. This is Phenomenon Serendipity, and I am your hostess, Catherine Donovan. Briar Devlin is still surviving in the world of Titans, and she comes face to face with the Levi Squad. That's right, Attack on Titan. She crosses over with Attack on Titan. So I hope you guys like it. Briar managed to find a safe yet private place to talk to Aaron. Briar managed to talk to him and explaining things, but Aaron was still skeptical. So Briar decided to try something different. She placed her fingers on his forehead, and then Aaron can see memories of Briar's life. He could see a young girl was happily running in a meadow of flowers. There was another one where she's hugging her mother. There was another memory of the little girl crying. She looked bruised and bleeding. She looked like somebody must have hurt her. She had a bruise around her eye. She had tears in her eyes, and she says in a timid voice, whimpering sadly, "Why is Daddy so mean to me? Why is he hurting me and Mommy?" Then there was another memory of the young lady grown up. Then of her laughing with friends, and then her sad, and her hanging out with some new kinds of people. Then Briar managed to take her fingertips off Aaron's forehead. Aaron was trying his best to process the memories that he saw. "Now do you believe me?" Briar said. Aaron nodded. "Yeah, I do," he said. "Good. Now you can see I'm no threat. I'm not any inhuman person. I would never try to hurt you," Briar said. She slipped her fingers through his. "You gotta trust me. I see you as something more interesting that I can't even explain. I'm not gonna hurt you or your friends, okay?" Briar said. Aaron nodded. Then he slipped his fingertips away from Briar's hand, and he was clutching the ends of his hair. "There's just so much going on inside of here, inside of my head. I just find this all... Sorry. I think this is gonna take me time to figure this out," he said. "Don't worry. I'll give you plenty of time," Briar said. The two of them are reunited with Mikasa, Randy, Chloe, and Armin. They headed back to somewhere known as the Scouts. When they arrived there were a few people there just staring, gawking at the newcomers. Briar realized she was covered in blood still. Then she turned to the others and smiled, nervously. Hi there," she said. The others did not say hi back, but they were just a little bit suspicious. It was kind of awkward, but then Briar said, "Pardon me for asking this, but do you know who's in charge here?" Briar asked. Nobody answered. This was getting really annoying. Look, all I'm asking you people is that if you have some place like a shower, bath, or whatever, I need to get myself cleaned up, and also I need I need to speak to someone who's in charge around here. Briar said. You can start with me, said a voice with authority. Briar gasped. She turned and she could see that a young man with blonde hair, he had some pretty interesting eyebrows. He looked stoic. He wore the same uniform, but it looked like he was in charge around places like here. The man introduced himself. Commander Irvin Smith. I am in charge of these people. We are known as the Scouts, he said. Later, Briar is seated across from him, but next to him was some stoic man with dark hair. And then next to him, on the other side of Irvin, was a young lady with brown hair up in a high ponytail. She wore glasses like goggles. The three of them were staring at Briar. Briar just looked down at her hands in nervousness. It appears she had told them what happened with her and the Titan. So let me get this straight, Commander Smith said. You're trying to say that you took out a Titan without even touching it, he said. Briar looked up and nodded. Yes, sir. I don't know how to explain this. I must be going crazy, but somehow I can hear the Titan. I can hear his thoughts. He sounded so hungry. I was so horrified. And then I didn't want to die. And all of a sudden, something in my brain just caused the Titan to convulse like it was having a seizure. So, yeah, sorry, Briar said. I see, said Irvin. The guy with the dark hair, he was Captain Levi. He looked at Briar and said, You know, I wouldn't mind seeing that power of yours, he said. Why don't you demonstrate for us? He said. Briar looked at him in horror. Right now? She asked. Levi nodded. Better now than later, he remarked. Briar sighed. Me and my big mouth, she thought. All of a sudden, she stood up. Then she closed her eyes and tilted her head on the side as she concentrated. Just then, someone burst through the door. Commander! The lieutenant called. That broke Briar's concentration, and she turned to the lieutenant, but her telekinesis made him flew almost right down the stairs, but Briar managed to save him in time, slowly pulling him back into the doorway. The soldier was so terrified of this. Briar pointed to him and said, Do not tell anybody, she said, emphasizing each word. The soldier he was breathless. The commander came over.
Lieutenant, I would advise you to not speak a word to this to anyone. This is classified information. Understood? He asked.
The man saluted. It was a strange salute. His right fist over his heart, and his other fist was right on his back from behind. And he said,
"Yes, sir,"
and he went away. Briar stared after him. What was that? Briar asked.
What was what?
Asked the commander. This, Briar said, imitating the same salute. I never heard of this salute. Ervin smiled. Just a small one, but he said,
I can tell you're not from here, are you?
He said. Briar blushed. No, not exactly. Sorry.
Don't apologize. I think I would like to get to know you better, Briar Devlin. I would absolutely like to,
he said. Briar looked at him funny. You are weird, she said. Ervin looked at her.
I've been told that before. A lot of people said that.
Yeah, I guess that's what I like about you, Briar said. Then she giggled. Sorry, couldn't help it. Yeah, I think I would like to get to know you better too, Commander Smith, Briar said. But Briar can tell that there's something strange about Levi too. And also the lady with the brown hair and the high ponytail and the goggle-like glasses. Her name was Hanji Zoe. She finds that these three are the most strange people she came across with. But she can tell they're not really bad people. And she was gonna like getting acquainted with Aaron too. She feels that there is something up with that guy. Very. That is the end of this podcast. Stay tuned for more coming your way. I'm Catherine Donovan, and stay tuned for more on Briar Devlin. This is getting really interesting. See ya. Bye-bye.